Good day again, everyone. We are sponsored today by Julie and Richard Ehrlich. Lina Schmad Richard's grandmother, Shendel Bat Moshe Allah Shamu's yahrzeit is today, Zayin Adar, Neshama Shavan Aliyah. Sponsored also this week by Judith and Neil Halper, and Lina Schmad Judith's mother, Goldie Baum, Golda Bat Yosef Allah Shamu's first yahrzeit is tomorrow on Chet Adar, Neshama Shavan Aliyah as well. And sponsored this week by Chai Yoful, celebrating the birth and upcoming Pidyon Aben of their grandson, Hillel Usher Fuld, son of Naomi and Srili. So Mazel to them and the entire family. The ever insightful Rav Asher Buchbut writes in last week's Be'avav Emunah about an aspect of the Mishkan that I tell you, my eyes glaze over. We're focused on, if we're focused at all, on the Aron, the Shulchan, the Menorah. The Torah says that the Mishkan ta'aseh esa yiriot. You should make 10 curtains for the Mishkan, hanging along the sides of the Mishkan, made of different types of linen and colors, etc. Maseh choshev taseh otam, the work of a designer, a real craftsman or craftswoman. And then a few psukim later, the Torah says, "V'asita yiriot izim li'ohel al hamishkan." You'll make on a tent over the Mishkan itself, made out of goat hair. The difference between the two is that the one that hung along the sides, those were eseriot. They were 10. The ones that were on top were 11. Not only that, the ones that were on the top, they were larger. The Torah says, "Orech hayra achat shloshim ba'amah v'rochev arba b'amah." The ones that hung on top were 30 cubits in length and 4 in width, 34 total. Whereas the ones that hung along the side, Orech Harachat, Shmonevesrim Ba'amah, V'rochav Arba B'amah, the 28 in length and 4 in width, meaning 32 all told. I'm sure you noticed that in the Sedra of Truma. What's the difference? The ones along the side, a total of 32 amot, those are lave in Gematria, the heart. Those are on top, 34, dal in Gematria, poor, impoverished. Like the pasuk says in Tehillim, Ashrei Maskil El Dal. Fortune is the one who considers the poor, considers them, pays attention to them. B'yom ra'ah yimalateo Hashem. On the day of calamity, God will deliver such a person from all evil. What does it mean? What's the point? 32, 34, Lev, Dal. Why are we even talking about it? Rav Buchbut quotes the Zohar in Parsha Pekudei that says that the Mishkan is compared to the peri, the fruit, whereas the ohel on top is compared to the klipa, the shell. That's why it's larger. The klipa, the shell, the outer covering of a peanut, an apple, etc., always has to be larger than what's inside. That's why it's 11, not 10. That's what's 34, not 32. But the klipa, the covering, has a different significance as well. And he explains that it's really a question of life. To what do we emphasize? On what do we focus in our lives? On the klipa, the shell, the superficialities, the outer coverings of our lives, meaning our pursuit of the physical, eating, drinking, sleeping, other pleasures, or do we focus on the lave, which is the pri, which is the innermost aspect of our lives, our values? A child is all klipa, all shell. All they know is are their physical needs. We get older, we move closer and closer to leiv, to the pnimiyut, the inner aspects of the Torah, to bilvavi mishkan evneh, to building a mishkan within us. Dal is 34, because if all we have in life is the dal, is the shell, the pri, the covering on top, then we'll experience dildul b'chayim, a deterioration of life, a sense of emptiness, of spiritual impoverishment, which afflicts so many people today. That's why there are 11. 11 is a number that recurs in Tanakh. In Parshat Kitavo, 11 times the Torah says arur, about someone who commits some type of sin. Haman and his 10 sons were all hanged. That's 11 as well. And there are other rayot also. Achar Asar Yomei Chorev, Derech Har Seir, the journey of life, not just the Jewish people from Mitzrayim to the land of Israel, just an 11-day journey. The journey is of the 11, from a life of the purely physical, what's empty ultimately, Derech Har Seir, through the Seir Izim, the klipa that's on top of the Mishkan, Ad Kadesh Barnea, until we reach the level of holiness. That's our experience. That's our trajectory in life. And that's what the Mishkan here is symbolizing with the 10 Yeriyot, 10 curtains on the side and 11 on top, and the 34 in length and width on top and the 32 on the side. And not only that, it's the pursuit of Chachma as well. So the Gemara says in Shabbat, Gedola Chachma shenemra be'elyonot, Yotem shenemra betachtonot. The Chachma, the wisdom expressed about the women who spun these curtains, about the upper ones is greater than the lower ones. Because of the lower ones, all the Torah says is V'chol isha chachmat leiv bi'odeh tavu. A woman who was wise-hearted spun the lower ones, but to be able to spin the upper ones, that was V'chol anashim asher nasali ban otana b'chachma tavu toizim. Those whose hearts inspired them, lifted them. They were the ones who could spin the upper covering. This war that we have between the inner Mishkan of Lev and the outer covering of Dal, that's our entire life. And the essence is to be in control of the Lev, to be Chachmat Lev, not like Haman, for example, of whom the Megillah says, Vayomer Haman bilibo, he said to himself, he said to his worst instincts and couldn't overcome them. We who are masters of Chachma, we're the ones who build the inner Mishkan. Have a good day.